my beautiful people. I hope that you're all doing so well. I hope that you're surviving. I hope that you're thriving. I hope that you're taking care of yourself. And most importantly, I hope that you're having a beautiful, wonderful, calm, chilled out Sunday. And that, you're doing all that you can to make sure that it is a restorative one, so you can bounce into the next week full of energy, all the good vibes and all of that good stuff. Hi, if you were wondering where you are, what are you listening to, who is this human, you're here on the Doing Life with Love and Magic podcast. I'm your host, Ndwenhle, and this is the space whereby I like to chat shit, where I like to share my life's perspective, my learnings, my observations, my feelings, what I love, what I don't love, what worries me, what doesn't worry me, as I navigate clumsily through my 20s, because the 20s can be a rough fucking time, and it's a beautiful time. It's a rough and beautiful time whereby you get to learn all sorts of weird and wonderful things that hopefully just help, you become a better human being. It's time to make mistakes and to fucking learn and grow. And, as much as possible on this podcast, I just use it as an opportunity to reflect on some of these things that we learn, and just as much as possible make the 20s a fun, good old time in between all of these lovely learnings that we're experiencing. So that is me in a nutshell. That is my very long spiel launching into today's topic. And as you can tell, I am driving yet again today. I literally just came from my grand's house. I haven't seen her in a hot minute, but she had asked me to get a couple of things for her from store, and I just took them to her, and we spent some time just chatting. She showed me some pics from childhood and family members who honestly, I don't know how this whole family tree thing happens, because I feel like sometimes when she starts talking about family and who's who and came from where, I honestly feel the need to write up a family tree, because I feel like she's explained it to me once, who came from who's related to who, but I still get so confused, and I just feel like in order for me to fully understand it, I just need to draw it out. And I think that is the best way that I'm probably going to make sense of who came from where, how. Obviously I know the basics, but extended family, don't even ask me about that. And half the time it's so funny, because back in the day when Dad and I used to go to the mall together and stuff, he'd be like, oh, that's your cousin from this side. I'm like, I don't know who that person is. I've never seen them in my entire life. But I feel there's just something nice about having a little bit of a family tree, and just having a good understanding of where everyone sort of comes from, how we all related and all of that, because it'll just make it easier to relay that message, going forward into the future. But I feel like it's a large family tree. But anyway, so I was kind of just sitting there catching up with old Gran, and while we were talking and stuff, she was she was telling me a story about how so they took in her, I think her grandmother, some part of our family took in her grandmother, if I'm not mistaken, at some point in time, and they took care of her when she was ill. And so she wants to do this get together type situation where we give thanks to that family for taking her in, which is cool and all of that. But guys, I don't know what it is. I don't know what lesson the universe is trying to teach me this month, but literally I just feel like finances are yet again an issue once again this month, because tell me why I was double charged for like my network related things. I was double charged for that, like funds gone down the drain, don't know where it is, like a payment like from work less than what it usually is, and it's probably because we kind of trying this new system now. There's like new system of like new structure, I guess, of like, you know, salary remuneration and all of that, and it just feels like this month, which has barely started, like I am already feeling very stressed about finances. I'm actually so stressed that I couldn't give two fucks anymore until my dearest grandmother was out here like asking me with her big eyes, yeah, can you donate to this family get together thing, and please also buy me airtime, and also maybe I might need 2 more of these like throw things. And I honestly started feeling so anxious because I was like, motherfucker, like I don't have, I can't help, like, and it kills me that I can't, like, honestly, like, if I had it like that and it was all good, like, I could do that, like, I could do that. I'd be like, it's chilled, it's whatever, like, yes, this is my contribution to you, I'm sharing. But I feel like I'm so in lack mindset these days that I'm like, I couldn't. And there's a part of me that's like, dude, what, like, look at the lessons that you need to learn here. Like, I feel like this is happening because in some way you need to be challenged about taking it seriously, that you want to unlock these multiple streams of income. How serious are you about making this fucking money? Like, if you've got nothing to survive on, how the fuck are you going to survive? What are you doing to make a plan? How are you going to make it through this month? And I feel like that is kind of the case here. It's like, in some ways, it's like a challenge to be like, okay, so what are you going to do about it? How are you going to make it work? How are you going to thug it out this month? You want to go get your nails done next week? How are you paying for that? How are you paying for that? Are you going to use your card? Or what is it that you're going to do? Like, let's be for real. And honestly, I get it. And I feel like it happens to test my resilience, to test how serious I am about like making this happen. But motherfucker, like, I'm tired. It's November. I don't want to be stressing about this shit. And I'm tired of this being my narrative for the whole year. And yesterday I recorded an episode. But I didn't upload it because I felt like so off yesterday when I was trying to record it, and I was like sweating and I just felt like ill and it was just disgusting, so I just didn't upload it. But yesterday, like, as I was coming back from Pole, I was literally just driving along. I think it might have been in silence, and I thought of a song that I haven't thought of in a very long ass time, and that was Keep Holding On by Avril Lavigne. Like, mind you, back in the day, I wouldn't say I was like an Avril Lavigne stan, but like, you know, I enjoyed her The Best Damn Thing, you know, and a couple of other songs, Skater Boy, all of that. So I haven't thought of this song in a long ass fucking time. And just randomly on a Saturday, when I was just thinking about everything, I just started thinking about Keep Holding On. And in that moment, I just chose to, like, I don't know, I just felt this thing of, okay, maybe it's like a thing of a reminder from my subconscious or some sort of message, because I feel like sometimes we excuse me sometimes we receive messages from very strange places. It could be the thought of a song, it could be seeing a sign, someone dropping us a message, something along those lines. But I felt like there and then that was like my sign that we're never fully alone in this world, like when we feel like we're going through it. We actually have help much closer to us than we think we do. And it doesn't always have to be in the sense of like just people being around us, but your spiritual team, ancestors, whoever you believe in, they're always like they're looking out for you, and you know, like having your best interests at heart, even when it feels like shit is fucking hitting the ceiling and you don't know what to do and you feel like you're like anxious. But yeah, I literally thought of that song and I listened to it and I was like, okay, keep holding on, just stay strong. That's my message. And I don't even think it's the fact that finances are a little bit all over the place. I just feel like I'm holding on to a lot of stress lately that's just making me blow everything out of proportion. Everything feels a lot harder than it really needs to be, honestly. Like work, there's lots of things on the go, and in my mind I feel like I've just blown it up to like, oh my gosh, it's so hectic, it's so this. But if I break it up piece by piece, it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. It's not that hectic. You do what you can do and you carry on. But I just feel like I've wound myself up into a state of feeling stressed, and it doesn't help that I'm on my period, so like my hormones are like through the roof at this moment in time, and like a little bit all over the place, I won't lie. So I guess this serves as a reminder to just hang in there, that the year is almost over and we just gotta push through a little bit more. Like there has to be a light at the end of the tunnel. You just need to keep pushing. You just need to double down. And just sometimes, as much as you know that is the end goal, that is what we're going towards, it can feel so fucking difficult to feel like you've been pushing through, you've been pushing, and like it's just like the results that you want are just not resulting in a sense, you know. So anyway, I was feeling incredibly triggered and I just had to cut our visit short. And she doesn't ask me for things often, like she really doesn't, but I just feel like because this is a topic of contention at this moment in time, of course the universe was like, oh, I'm going to ask you through the person that you love and respect and you want to like impress and please, and you wouldn't want them to know that you're going through a tough time. I'm going to ask you, okay, so can you give all of this money? Can you do all of this? Can you go shopping for this? Can you do that? And I just felt like so overwhelmed. And I don't want anyone to ever think that, you know, I can't help them in certain situations, or I'm not willing to. Like I'm always willing to, but I feel like I need to work through this like current state that I've worked myself into of like the fuck. And yeah, it's not feeling great. A girl is barely surviving, but she gonna survive. Like I don't know how, but I always land up surviving, even when it feels like it's dire, and even when it looks like, yo, there's no hope here, like this is very unfortunate. But the thing is, in this life, if you're not gonna fucking make a plan and try and figure it out, you're gonna get stuck in the same place like forever. And as much as you want to cry sometimes and throw your toys out of the cot in a sense, because it just feels like, what the fuck, like why is everything just happening all at once and these things are happening? Sometimes you gotta sit and just ask yourself, what lesson am I being asked to learn through this situation? What can I learn from the situation? How can I get myself out of it? Like a message that I received loud and clear this week is, so there's this one content creator this YouTuber, I will call him, named Dylan James, that I used to really love listening to his content, and he disappeared for a while. I don't know what he got up to, and I kind of just forgot that he existed. But recently he's just resurfaced, and on Friday, I think it was, I just decided to listen to one of his videos. And I don't know, there's something about him when he speaks, the things that he speaks make so much sense to me. And he's just so real and unapologetic about the messages he says. He's not what's the word I'm looking for? Soft and oh, I'm gonna protect your feet. He's very real. He's very much about, so what he is, he's kind of I don't want to say a life coach, but what is the word I'm looking for? Okay, I'll find the right word and put in the description later on. But he's kind of a life coach Jason type person, manifestation type person that focuses on relationships and self-improvement and all of that. And he's just very real and direct in the way in which he delivers a message. And so this video that I listened to the other day, it was all about the stories that we tell ourselves about different aspects about our lives, right? And basically he was saying that sometimes we, in certain circumstances, obviously it differs based on human to human, and there are certain experiences that some of us go through as humans that are incredibly painful and that are completely out of our control, and we cannot help that certain things happen to us. But in other circumstances of our lives, for example, he made an example of a person saying that, when I get into a relationship, I always overgive and they never give back to me, and it's always like that. And what he basically pointed out is that in those situations, I'm so sorry, my words are just not wording today, but in those kinds of situations, you'll find that people kind of refuse to take responsibility for their actions in those types of situations. Like, for example, if you are finding that you are overextending yourself in your relationships with people around you, and you are constantly giving and never getting in return, is there a possibility whereby you haven't looked at yourself and been very clear with the people around you about what your boundaries are and where they lie? Because oftentimes we slip into victimhood when it comes to certain aspects of our lives, and we don't take accountability for that. And so he was just basically saying how we need to kind of reevaluate the stories that we've been telling ourselves around certain situations and take back accountability and take back control, obviously where we can, because we're humans and not everything is going to go according to plan. But where you can take ownership for what you have been lacking and what you haven't been working on, you must do it. You must try and take accountability. You must try and take back your control and your power. And I feel like in terms of looking at elements of my life, such as my finances, I feel like I've lost my power, and I feel like it's time that I start regaining back control of my narrative around my finances, because obviously there's been a little bit of a fault in the system. And yes, I have got this amazing system in place that really helps me, that I've been trying to use in order to help me be better with my finances and flow them better. But I feel like there is something that I believe deep down inside, or a belief that I've come across as of recently, that has just thrown off my entire mentality and relationship when it comes to finances, that I haven't addressed. And I actually need to make time to do it. I need to take this shit seriously. And as with any other aspects of your life, when you're noticing a pattern and you're noticing, certain situations cropping up on a regular basis, I feel like it's kind of should be a little bit of an alarm system to tell you that, hey, listen, there's something in your fundamentals, something in your beliefs that isn't quite sitting right here, and you need to address it, because the more you let it go, the more these issues are going to crop up, and then like you're going to feel like shit because these things keep happening to you. But like it requires some deep self-evaluation and a reflection, so you can be like, oh my gosh, okay, cool, I've noticed this is coming up. Like, what have I been telling myself lately? And it's a lot. It's not an easy feat, and it's not something that you can do like quick, fast, and that's pretty much it. And that's what Dylan was basically talking about, is that he has like things like meditations and like, you know, the subliminal affirmation things that you get to listen to when you go to sleep on specific aspects of people's lives to kind of help improve their relationship and perception of that particular thing. So basically what he was saying is that sometimes people will like listen to that thing once, and then they're like, oh, it doesn't work because I listened to it once. But the thing is, when it comes to changing certain beliefs about something, like, it's gonna take a while. It's like building a muscle. You've literally cultivated and like, yeah, pretty much cultivated years worth of beliefs about that specific thing. It's gonna take time to break it apart and break it down and have a true understanding of the fundamentals of it and like change it. So I guess what I'm saying today is that I am going to try and hold myself accountable in this space, which is the financial space, and I am going to try my best from today, because it is pretty much still a new month, to kind of unlearn and undo whatever weird beliefs and foundations that I've built up within myself to make me think and feel like I can't build financial stability, almost, because that's what it's kind of like. It's feeling like, it's like every single time I take a step forward, I'm needing to take steps back, and like nothing's flowing in to kind of replace that thing that I'm flowing out as that's happening. So some serious self-evaluation needs to be done, because I'm sick and tired of telling myself the same stories and coming onto the space and telling you the same thing. Granted, it's just been something that's been happening for like a couple of months, but I am literally putting it out there that, listen, enough is enough now. Like, I can't deal with this shit. I want to be someone that like talks the walk and walks the talk, you know? And I just, it's not going to help me to sit and complain about the same problem every single month over and over again. Like, something needs to be done about it. So that was kind of like something interesting that I did learn. I do feel like maybe I need to get back into like my bedtime affirmations, something along those lines, because I have been slacking. So I feel like I need to get back into listening to my affirmations. I need to do some serious journal prompts around the areas that I feel like I'm having issues with. And I feel like I just need to get back into listening to some healthy content around those subject matters, because I feel like I've just let myself go. Like, I feel like I've just stopped training a muscle in my brain to help me experience things in a different way. And so I encourage you today to just have a think about which areas of your life like you are constantly seeing issues around and experiencing like certain things around, like, And how you'll know that you have a problem around a certain thing is if you feel triggered by if somebody brings up that specific thing. It literally could be money, it could be relationships, it could be, I don't know, like your relationship with yourself and how you look and how you feel. It literally could be anything along those lines. So I really encourage you to make it a point to take this shit seriously. Like, don't let it go on for like months upon months. Like, if you have the, what's the word I'm looking for? If you have the opportunity to identify a particular problem within an area of your life, like immediately, try and address that shit as soon as possible. So my challenge for you for November, and my challenge to me as well, and I am going to literally check back in at the end of the month to see how I'm tracking on this, is to legit, like, let's start reframing. Let's start reframing like our beliefs around certain areas of our lives. Like, let's take this shit seriously and don't let it okay, no, this is just, no, I cannot do this today. I'm struggling to park my vehicle in that tiny little space, but that person parked really shit, I've just noticed. But yeah, like, let's take our own narratives into our own hands. We are more than capable of, creating. We are more than capable of. Why did this person park like this? It's absolutely awful. Oh my gosh. Okay. Sorry. So we are more than capable of creating the narratives that we hold around our lives, and we should definitely do what we can to make sure that those narratives come to fruition, because we have the power within us to do it. Like, we really all do, and it's within our internal locus of control, and we can only do what we can to make sure that we are building ourselves to be those people that we imagine in our minds, and yeah, that's kind of like my message for today. I'm hoping that I made some sense and that you were able to hear me out for like 30 odd minutes. Yeah, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you listening. And yeah, please take care of yourself, and please just take back your control and take back your authority and your sovereigns. I'm trying to use big words and I don't even know how to say them, but take that shit back. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much for listening to me and my podcast. I appreciate you very, very much. Please, can you respond there to the polls if you can, and check out my links in the description to see, my social media, the link to my blog, which I have not updated this week. But I am going to try to when I get home. It is 5:30, so it is like winding down time. But we're going to try and do that. So I do try and upload that on a frequent basis where I can. And then check out some other links to support the podcast if you would like to. No pressure though, like completely get it. And yeah, thanks so much once again. Don't forget everything that you do, whether it's sipping on hot chocolate with marshmallows, do it with love and a sprinkling of magic, and take back ownership of your story. It's your story, and you mustn't let the events of this life and how other people act kind of dictate what your story is. Only you and only you can decide what's going to happen with your own story. Okay, thanks so much once again. Chat to you later. Goodbye.